Please go ahead, sister.
Great.
All praises, all praises to the Most
Another
High.
edition of today's Natural Remedies and Health. It's always a pleasure to be here another week. So much has been going on with all of the rain and flooding and hailstorming and death. It's just like it's all around. So I truly am happy to be here another segment. So shalom, everyone. My name is Sister Kashakia. I am out of Dallas, Texas, and I am with the Gathering of Christ Church, and I have been talking about to women particularly in reference to just different body parts. So just to kind of back up and give you a little bit about my story for any new people that's on the line, I am a cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with cancer in the year 2011. And when I was diagnosed in the year 2011, I had anal cancer, which is a part of the colon, and went through treatment, went through, all the shingling, as you can say, to be diagnosed and go through all of that. So after doing all of that, that was in around September of 2011 when they actually diagnosed me with the anal cancer, going through a misdiagnosis. I was told I had internal hemorrhoids, which I never really had. My hemorrhoids just began to flare up and give me problems because of the area that I was dealing with the cancer in. So for a whole entire year, I was misdiagnosed. I was given medications that I didn't even really need when it was really the cancer that was growing the whole entire time. So I had fibrocystic tumors as well, and I had to have a MRI done so they could measure the size of it because they were going to schedule me for surgery. And so that's how the cancer was found in the anal area. When they diagnosed it. So of course I had to go through radiation, I had to go through chemo, I had to go through all that kind of stuff to get myself under a treatment plan. And by the time I did all that, they discovered it was stage 3, closer to stage 4. So I did have about 3-4 weeks of radiation and some chemotherapy, which was horrible. It was a very horrible experience that I experienced. And so prior to that, I had been using this product that I speak about every single week called Tahitian noni juice. But prior to being diagnosed, I had gotten off of the product a whole year, that particular year, just really no reason at all, just kind of decided, hey, I'm looking good, I'm feeling good, it's okay if I miss a twig here and there. Well, that ended up being a whole entire year that I found myself off this product, and I found other things inside of me that gave me this cancer. And so to fast forward, I do believe firmly in the scriptures and the power of the Most High, so I was supernaturally healed because I decided to get off of all of my medications and put my faith in the Most High and in His Word, and I did that. And I saturated my body with this product called Tahitian noni juice that gave my body all of the nutrients that it needed to regenerate all of the cells so I could begin to build my immune system back up, and that's exactly what it did. So when I had my first biopsy, about 3 or 4 months out, so I'm not for sure exactly what time frame, during that time frame that things began to get back on track, but I wasn't scheduled for a biopsy until the first month of 2012, which is where they told me that I am cancer-free after they flew up and down that I was not going to make it due to getting off the radiation and chemotherapy. So this is how I've ended up here today, working with people all over the world. I am grateful for the opportunity to be on this show with Dr. Truman, who specializes in herbs and all his expertise and things that he brings. And so it's just an honor and a blessing to be able to come here and add what I have in with this segment so people around the world can get this information and we can hear lots and lots of testimonies. I heard Dr. Truman say someone that was a diabetic that is no longer a diabetic. I hear these stories all the time, so it's a blessing to hear that another sister or brother is now off of medication and they're medicine-free and having better vitality of health. So all praise to the Most High for that. So today's topic that I'm going into, we kind of finished up talking about breast cancer and just different parts of what's going on with the breast, the nipple, the tissues, all the different things that's affiliated with a woman's breast, because we have a lot of issues going on. Children have a lot of issues, so we kind of really finished that up last week. And so now we're kind of going to get into talking about the uterus or the womb. In the medical community, we hear them basically describing the uterus. But when you go to the Bible, the scriptures call it the womb. And so I always, every week, like to bring some type of foundation from the word to kind of set my topic up. So one verse from, this is the book of Luke, chapter 23, verse 29, that says, "For behold, the days are coming in the which they shall say, Blessed are the barren, and the womb that never bear, and the path which never gave suck." Wow. Wonder why would people be saying that in the last days, that you are blessed? They would be saying you are blessed. And I hear people all the time say, "Girl, you better be glad you don't have no kids," and da 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 da. But there was a time that was a blessing. That was an inheritance. You know, children are an inheritance from the Lord, the scripture says. But now, in the New Testament, we're hearing about that's a saying, you know, that you would be hearing if you don't have children. So as I begin to look into the uterus, like I said, in the medical community, you'll hear medical doctors call it the uterus. But in the Bible, it's spoken of as the womb. And what was this womb given for? Why is all of these problems going on today in a woman's womb? So that's how I came across the topic of the womb and the different diseases and the infections that affect the womb. We know that Eve is the first woman to open the rectum, which is how you would say it in Hebrew. So I tell people you need to get a Hebrew and Greek concordance to kind of help you figure out what word was there in that scripture other than the Greek word that you're reading, so you can get the full understanding of what that word means, which again means womb, or sometimes you'll hear it said the matrix, but more specifically you hear it talk about the womb. Now think about Eve being the mother of all living, and she had a womb, which is how everything in existence we see today, whether male or female, has came out into the earth. So again, women have a very serious job on their hands birthing out children, but yet we have infertility, so many birth defects, and all kinds of things going on. So as I begin to look into this, how does this have to deal with sugar? We'll be amazed how sugar is on the rampage, dealing with the ovaries and fibrocystic tumors and infertility and just all kinds of things that's going on in that area. But going back to the word rectum, which is from the root word racham, R-A-C-H-A-M, the root of it, but the word means compassion and mercy. It's a root word that is, like I said, meaning protection from harm. So in general, the past 6,000 years or so, the womb was the safest place for a child to be in. So we kind of all wish we could go back and be in that place. He or she would be protected from the harm, which is the root word again of the true compassion of what that word means. So this was the Most High's way from the beginning. So it's good to do a word study to see the Hebrew word was being there. So means in order to get the fullest meaning of what that word communicating in the scriptures is. So I tell people, remember that Christ was Hebrew. He was not Roman. So a lot of times when we look at Greek words, we have to remember we've got to go back to the ancient scriptures, which were in Hebrew. So I wanted to kind of discuss the definition of food to understand today's topic and understanding the topic of AGE that I talked about and the different issues women endure in the womb. So just to understand, and anyone can look this up in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary to give us an understanding on what is food. And food is a nutritive material taken into a living organism to sustain life, to promote growth and the repair of the tissues, and to give energy for the vital process. So there's a lot going on that we should be getting out of our food. And as we talked about, the uterus or the ovarian or the womb, I like to say the womb because we just being connected to the scriptures when you speak it as what it was called, the womb. There's a lot of things going on, and I kind of just wrote down a few of them, but there's a lot more. But going into ovarian, the female hormones were estrogen and progesterone. They're crucial for both sexual health and bone health. You have the vagina, which is the tube that leads to the uterus. So the vagina is not the womb. Sometimes when I talk to them, they think the vagina and the womb are the same thing, and they're not. It's the tube that leads to the uterus or the vagina. Then you have another condition called PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome that a lot of women are dealing with. Then you have ovarian cysts, which are cysts on the ovaries. Um, Also, that leads women into having a lot of hormone imbalance. Then you have people having what's called hysterectomy, which is a major operation to remove a woman's womb or the word uterus. About 600,000 women alone in the U.S. are said to have this major surgery done. That's a lot of women having their womb removed out. And the cost of this surgery on a high end is about maybe like $11,000. Then you have uterine fibroids, you have pelvic inflammatory disease, which is an infection of the womb. You have a bladder infection, or what they call a UTI infection, where when that urine, your urine gets to burning after you're starting to urinate so many times, usually from drinking bad sodas or too much of this, or something has entered in some bad bacteria or something. So, man, it's a lot going on. That's just to name a few. There's, quite a lot more than we can see of what I just named. There's a lot going on within the womb. And when we were given a womb, the womb was given to the woman for the purpose to be able to procreate. But the things that are being procreated from the womb today, such as these diseases, is not what the womb was given for. And that's a whole nother topic that I have to get into in a whole nother show, to put some scriptures with why are these diseases present in so many women, particularly the women that are called African American women, things like this. They're even called the heart disease, and African American men with other diseases. There's scriptures that support why this is going on, particularly in this segment of women. But just to understand, this is attacking a lot of women, and they're not telling the women that if they simply would just use the right food and the right herbs, a lot of these things can be reversed. Yeast infections, that's another one that's going on inside of a woman's womb. There's all kind of stuff that's coming out of the womb that should not be coming out of the womb. So abnormal hormone imbalances, all kind of things that's going on. And they're not telling these women, again, like I said, that they can use the right herbs and the right foods to be able to reverse a lot of these symptoms, where women can be able to keep her uterus. A lot of women end up having hysterectomies that never wanted a hysterectomy. They were just told that was their option. That's what they need to do. And there's a lot more going on behind the scenes with women that are having these procedures done. And once that's done, it cannot be undone, because once the womb is gone, we only get one of those in this lifetime. So when it's gone, it is gone. And people end up meeting other spouses or people later on, and they decide they want to have a child, and they run into a big problem because they no longer have ovaries, they no longer have a womb. They have, all kind of hormone imbalances. The ovaries are gone because the ovaries again play a part in producing the hormones for estrogen and progesterone. So now you have a lot of chronic women, all kind of stuff. They're on hormone replacement therapy, which is a bunch of other stuff that's not good, when all of this can be addressed with nutrition. As much as Dr. Truman talks about having a good whole food diet. And it's just amazing all the stuff that I came across that plays the part with food, and how food can help resolve a lot of these issues. But on the topic of AGE, which is an acronym that means Advanced Glycation End Products. And what is that? Those are harmful compounds that are entering into the body through the food and the beverages that we are consuming on a day-to-day basis. So just kind of think about what you're putting in your mouth every day, as far as what are you eating and what are you drinking every day. Sodas, coffee, caffeine, all this kind of stuff. And the stuff that we're calling sugar today is really not real sugar like in the ancient times. So it's almost as like using heroin or something like that, because the sugar becomes very, very addictive, to where it finds ourselves craving this sugar in the middle of the night, in the middle of the day, all different types of morning, noon, and night. It's like we're crack fiends running around looking for something with sugar, 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 sugar. and not really looking for things that are, the right type of sugars, the right type of calories, the right type of nutrition. Definitely something very, very high in protein to put the protein back into the body to help control a lot of these sugar cravings. And so I've spoken previously in the past about a product we have named Sugar Stop. I'm not going to go over that today. You can go back and listen to some of the other episodes that we've done, but anyone that is having problem with excessive sugar and you're trying to have it removed from the body, Sugar Stop was designed to also fight against AGE as well as reduce up to 40% of excessive sugar inside of the body. But sticking to the topics like on fertility and things like that, and how this sugar, again, which the AGE is sugar and protein. So we're not just talking about sugar here, we're talking about protein that's binding with the sugar in the molecule, and then they become harmful compounds that begin to latch themselves on to the organs inside of the body, and then you end up with all of these different types of diseases that you have today. So you can type in the word glycation, Google it. Glycations is all over the place because these AGEs are in your hair, they're in your skin, they're in the inside of your body, they're in your fingernails, they're all over the place. And so the goal is to get them reduced and be able to manage your AGE levels to having a very, very low AGE level. And so here at the end, I will tell you how we have a scanner that does that. And if you're interested in getting yourself scanned, we're going to be doing an event this evening here where I am. And so it's just something awesome to know where your AGE levels are for your own self, so you can be able to get yourself started on the path to reducing the AGEs and living younger, longer. Going back to how sugar may contribute to infertility. Sugar may contribute to infertility, causing sugar regularly may lead to infertility or make fertility issues you already have worse. As we move through, the time period that we're in these last days, like I said, everybody's wanting something sweet and goody. You kind of all know what those things are, things such like cakes and cookies, cocktails, wine, fudge, candy, the list just kind of goes on and on. So a lot of times people kind of act like they don't care until they end up in a situation where something drastic is going on, because I've heard people say, well, I don't care how much sugar is in there, I'm just going to keep on eating it. And it's like, I know a person that says something like that, they simply don't have wisdom. You're killing yourself. You're speaking about death. And that's exactly what's going to be knocking at your front door here in just a little bit if you sit and act like the sugar that you're taking in, like you're exempt from it. It has nothing to do with you. That's just foolish for someone to say that, because there are people out there that say it, and then they end up, in a bad situation later on. So, going back to the fertility issues, it may be a good idea, to look into alternatives to sugary foods, most importantly, refined white sugar. This includes white table sugar, white flour, white corn, including corn syrup, white rice, and alcoholic beverages. Most treats we love are made from these types of ingredients. Also, high fructose corn syrup is found in most prepackaged foods at the supermarket, so a lot of people are catching on to the high fructose corn syrup. Hormone disruption. Foods causing these ingredients are broken down quickly by the body. This raises our insulin levels too quickly, but this affects the hormone levels again. This quick spike in sugar levels, it creates a high in our bodies that lasts from like 15 to 30 minutes. After that, our sugar levels, they plummet, kind of having that crash and burn effect, leaving the body drained and exhausted. So this creates what is referred to as a fight or flight reaction in the body. I'm looking at my Bible, excuse me, everyone. Due to continued stimulation of the adrenal gland, and Dr. Truman, I'm thinking kind of go into the adrenal gland for a part all that plays. This drop in sugar levels, it signals the adrenal glands to release the hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, and attempt to replenish the sugar levels. Repeated stimulation of the adrenal glands to release, again, the cortisol and the adrenaline, weakens the adrenal gland. Again, these are hormones produced by the adrenal And I'm kind of saying the same word again. I stutter and talk very fast, so if you let me spell what I'm saying. ADRENALS. So again, hormones produced by the adrenals are not produced in abundance. So the adrenals, they become sluggish. They may lead to hormone imbalance. Not enough hormones are being produced or released. Other endocrine glands are not being signaled to release their hormones, and the entire communication of the endocrine system, it basically just becomes broken. So all of this repeated perineal stimulation affects the hormone levels of the estrogen and the progesterone and the androgen. If I'm saying it how I said, ANDROGENS. Forgive me again, I stutter. It's straight from my father. So sometimes when I'm running words together, they can kind of sound like an atom fragment sentence. So if you need to understand what I'm saying, just ask me and I will back up. But I talk really, really fast. Insulin resistance. The pancreas secretes insulin to convert the sugars in our blood to energy in our cells. Again, there's food. Because remember, I said food is a nutritive material taken to a living organism to sustain life, to promote growth and repair the tissues, and to give energy for the vital process. So when it comes to insulin as well, you need to be able to have the blood, the pancreas secretes the insulin to convert the sugar in our blood to energy in our cells. So again, there's something involved how food can help with that. Over the consumption of the sugary foods, which requires the pancreas to release more and more insulin. Over time, continued release too much insulin may create insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is known to disrupt normal ovulation by preventing the body from ovulating or limiting the maturation process of the egg. So insulin resistance also may disrupt the ability of the egg to implant in the uterus or the womb after conception. So women with insulin resistance are 4 to 5 times more likely to have a miscarriage. Not good. Insulin resistance is a key factor for women with PCOS. And PCOS is your polycystic ovarian syndrome. That's just an acronym for it. Yeast infection. While a yeast infection may not directly cause infertility, it can hinder the ability of sperm reaching the egg. A vaginal yeast infection makes it almost impossible to have sexual intercourse, which we all, if we're women ever had that, know is necessary to become pregnant. So that makes it impossible again to procreate. PMS. Too much sugar consumption may cause hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is known to contribute to the PMS or make it worse. Lower immunity. Research has shown that just 1 tablespoon of the sugar can lower your immunity for up to about 4 hours at a time. So it's no wonder we get so sick in the winter, even really around the summer. There's so much going on because people's immune system are very, very low. You know what immunity means? That we are more susceptible to infections of all kinds. This includes yeast infection, bacterial vaginitis, which may lead to PID, but also sexual transmitted diseases as well, of which, greatly affect our fertility. Vitamin and mineral deficiency. For the body to continually release the insulin and the cortisol, it has to use up vitamin and mineral stores. So vitamins and minerals that are often depleted are B vitamins, especially B6 and vitamin E, magnesium and copper. Lower levels of vitamin E have been linked to miscarriage. And I talked about all of those ingredients inside of our calcium plus that we have. And I talked about vitamin D, which is something that is needed along with the calcium to be absorbed, and the magnesium and the copper and zinc and a couple other different things. So we do have that in our calcium plus for anyone that's interested in supplementing in additional calcium along with anything else that you're using to, enhance your calcium intake. There are many healthy natural alternatives to refined sugars. I've included the glycemic index for some sweeteners, so I can give out my email for people that want that. The glycemic index tells you how quickly the carbohydrates turn to sugar in your blood. So that's just not a good thing. Stevia is a plant that is very sweet. The plant part used is the leaf. It is an excellent substitute for sweetening foods all naturally. It does not cause a spike in the blood sugar, which is very, very good. It has been consumed for about 1,500 years with little to no side effects. Stevia has 300 times the sweetness of sugar. So a little stevia goes a long way, so you don't need to use, very much of it. So stevia is sold in a powder or a liquid extract. Stevia is one of the best sweeteners source for women with diabetes or PCOS. And so, Dr. Truman, I'm pretty sure you can elaborate on that. So with that being said, because I am getting ready for engagement here at the DIH scanning and speaking, that's all I really have for today, but just kind of going into the products very quickly that will help to lower AGEs, or if you are a female having any of these types of problems with the uterus that I went over today. This product will also help you in those areas, because not only is this a product that you can take, this is a product that you can also bathe with. You can also soak with it, because when I had cancer, I used to put the noni juice in my water, and it helped to soothe the hemorrhoids and other areas in the anal area that I was having, as well as it gave over time all of my skin that was burned from the radiation that I was having for the treatment before I discontinued that treatment. And so it did help all of my skin to go back, because the skin is nothing but a combustion of cells. And so remember, the body is nothing but trillions and trillions of cells. So even when you're talking about the wound, you're talking about cells and tissues and muscles and all this kind of stuff. That's how the wound is able to stretch open, when a woman is birthing a child. And so think about the muscle, because I think about women that have had 10 to 12-pound babies, and how did that stretch out? Even the Most High just awesome how the muscle can contract to just automatically open like that. So that's why it's good, again, to be on a very good high protein, to be building lean muscle, and to help, stabilize this muscle, and also be able to have energy. So if you are giving birth to a baby, you definitely need all of the energy that you can get into. So again, we have a product called the True Age Max, and the beautiful thing about the noni plant is that it's not just any plant, but it's a food medicinal plant, so it operates kind of similar to a medicine, but only in the form of phytonutrient compounds, which is just putting the nutrients back into the body that it needs. When you read the book of Genesis, the Most High talks about how he made all of the trees and herbs and different things to be able to have these things for food. But we've gotten away from eating the things that the Most High has put here in the earth, and we're eating everything now where it's refined, it's industrialized, it's packaged up, it's processed, GMOs, excessive sugar, you name it, we're packing it into our bodies, and this stuff is killing us, and it's giving us cancer, sending people into obesity, people are going blind, glaucoma at an earlier age, Alzheimer's, which we call diabetes type 3, all these things are being induced, just like labor is induced, due to excessive sugar and these proteins. So these AGEs are not anything that you want to let go unnoticed. You want to get yourself scanned so you can find out what your true age level is and where you are on the inside, just as well as your age chronologically on the outside. So the noni plant has what's called iridoids, which is spelled IRIDOIDS. And that is kind of like the captain of the sea to all of the nutrients. And there is 150 different nutrients inside of every 1 ounce of the noni that you drink. So each one of our beverages has a certain milligram of these iridoids. And so iridoids means that it's on a frequency. They are actually alive. The nutrients are alive. We've spent over $250 million in research and development and proving on humans. So all of our studies are on clinical human research. So these are published studies, so you can go out there on the internet and pull them up and read information on them. And all of them were done on humans. They're very expensive. They're anywhere from about $800,000 to $1 million to publish the findings. Whether the findings are good or whether they're bad, you have to publish whatever came out of them. We are also documented in the medical PDR, which is a physician's desk reference book. So anytime you go to your doctor's office or an ER room or anywhere of those type of settings, they have a medical PDR. And make sure you emphasize the nutraceutical because NONI is a nutrient. So it's not in the other type of medical PDR. It's not in the pharmaceutical, but it's a nutraceutical because it's just simply a food that you are feeding your body to give your body the living nutrients. It is grown in the wild, so it gets all of the nutrients that it needs from the soil because the soil is very important to understand what are the plants and different things being grown in, what type of soil. So because it grows in Tahiti, doesn't grow here in America, it grows in the South Pacific region of the earth. So it's in abundance over there. So it's not seasonal. It grows all year round. So this is truly a very unique fruit that's helping millions and millions of people all over the earth to be able to have better health. And so this is why I'm here today to give this information out. So someone here that is in need of these nutrients to be supplemented and put back into the body so your cells can be able to regenerate new cells to help reduce the AGE formation that you have going on inside of your body. So again, they are based on milligrams, just like prescription medications usually have milligrams. So these iridoids come in 30 milligrams. They come in 120 milligrams, which is known as our True Age Max, which is a blend of 5 different berries and fruits, which is the noni that has the highest content of the iridoids, and also the blueberry, the olive leaf, the cranberry, which is right out of Oregon, where Dr. Truman is, and the Canolian cherry. All of these are different berries that come from different locations of the earth because they possess the iridoid compound that is found off inside of them. So you can Google that and do more homework on your own to kind of get a deeper understanding on the biological adaptogen concept that's going on with these iridoids and how they are only found inside of this product that I am talking about right here with Melinda, which is the Tahitian noni or the True Age Max or the Max 360, which is on a concentrated level. So people that want pure concentrated, if they were eating it raw right off the tree without any water diluted into it, we also have that, and that comes in 360 milligrams. And so that is the name of our product called the True Age Max. Also, I talked last week about the hormone body balance cream. You can see every topic that I bring forth every week. For women, somehow there's a lot of hormone imbalance going on. So everything I've spoken about over the last week is still tied into hormone imbalance and a lack of vitamin E, as I was just reading a while ago. So the hormone body balance cream that we have is for women only. It is a natural progesterone cream. So if you are experiencing hot flashes, mood swings, obesity, food cravings, just the list goes on, anxiety, depression, things like that is possibly due to a hormone imbalance that you have going on. And talking about the womb today, it can lead to women having hormone imbalance because a lot of issues are going on inside of the womb. And so if you are interested in putting that back into perspective, I tell people and recommend to them the hormone body balance cream to be able to physically and balance out, physically and emotionally a woman's well-being. And so it does also have inside of it vitamin E. It has a unique blend of vitamin E, noni juice. Also, many of you got to get some iridoids inside of this because the iridoids is inside of the juice. The noni seed oil. It takes 50,000 seeds from the plant to make 1 ounce of a very essential precious oil that goes into the skin 5 layers deep. So it's called noni seed oil, and it comes from the seeds from the noni plant. And the natural progesterone to match with your own body's hormone of progesterone that it is producing, because your body will produce some of it on your own. So maybe if you have too much of estrogen and too much of this, you're having a hormone dominance effect. And so this will help to balance all of that back into place if you're having, some problems with some of the things that I just named dealing with the womb today. So, or to just basically help to restore the body back to health for the mid-aged women. If you are interested in getting yourself scanned so you can know how to live younger longer or what is your AGE in the inside, you can email me at kshaw, SHAW0026 at gmail.com, or you can call me directly at 469-443-2124. We are internationally, so if I can't get to you myself, I can find out who is inside of my team in another city or state where you can go to an event and get more educated about AGEs, and where they will have a scanner there where you can also get yourself scanned. It takes 20 seconds to find out your internal age in the inside, or what's better known as your true age. So again, Dr. Truman, if you would do us the pleasure, I will speak next week specifically on hysterectomies and when did they start doing this. So I'm going to bring some information, more elaborating, kind of going into that, because there's a lot that revolves around that subject, and that will probably be the conclusion of the different parts of a woman. So we'll kind of touch up on some of the things I've already touched on, but next week's topic will be on the subject of hysterectomy. So if you know anyone that's had one, or if they're thinking about getting one, please invite them on next week's call so they can learn more information and maybe end up saving someone's womb before it is taken out and becoming a womb, W-O-U-M-B. Dr. Truman, with that, would you give out the website and information where they can order any of these products, or if they need more information, they have my information already. And thank you so much. I look forward to joining each and every one of you next week. Shalom.
Shalom. All praises to the Most High. Thank you, Sister Kashaki, for sharing that information with us. And as always, this is great. And these things need to be discussed. We need to talk about these things because this is not something you hear every day. And so we're very grateful that Sister Kashaki joins us and always gives a very interesting presentation. Now, any of the products that she has mentioned or that I mentioned, they're all available through the betterhealthherbs.com. That's the website. And if you don't see the product up there, then be sure and call them on the telephone. Their telephone number, they're there 9 to 5. 5 days a week, 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening, West Coast time, Pacific Standard Time. And that phone number to call the people at Health and Herbs in Albany, Oregon is 541-791-8400.